Hello, my name is Gary, and I was raised in the Western United States, so I'm a native English speaker. I hope that you will enjoy this YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us.
The guest explains that her grandmother bought the garment in the late 1980s for about $2,000. The piece came from someone whose family had worked at the Japanese embassy and lived in Asia. The appraiser surprises the guest by revealing that the garment isn't Japanese, it's Chinese. The appraiser points out a purple mauve colour on the garment, which is a clue to its age. That specific dye was invented in 1856. The garment dates the Gunju period, 1875 to 1908, likely from the 1880s. It's a woman's surcoat, meant to be worn over another robe. At home, it would have been used for formal occasions, while at court, it would have been considered semi-formal attire. The sleeves are very wide to allow for additional clothing underneath. The material is silk, not satin, but the embroidery is done in satin stitch. Some threads are wrapped in gilt metal, adding to its richness. Cranes appear in the design, symbolizing imperial authority, good fortune, and longevity. The appraiser suggests it may have been made for a woman of high status, like a princess wife, possibly for a birthday celebration. The garment also includes circular designs decorated with 8 diced symbols. Each one has a bat, which stands for wealth. The lower of the garment features a pattern known as Lishu, with colourful waves, mountains and dragons. In total, there are 8 designs, 3 on the front, 1 on each shoulder, and 3 others on the back. There's visible wear around the collar, which shows it was actually worn, but it is still in very good condition. The appraiser asks the guest to guess its current value. She suggests $5,000. And she's exactly right. The auction value today would be between $4,000 and $6,000. What does the word mauve refer to? A type of fabric, a light purple colour, a traditional pattern, a dye made from plants. B. A light purple colour. What is a surcoat? A type of belt, a fancy head covering, an outer garment worn over another, a storage case for silk. C. An outer garment worn over another. What does semi-formal mean when describing attire? Completely casual, a mix of formal and casual, only worn by royalty, too old to wear. B. A mix of formal and casual. What is gilt metal? Metal mixed with bronze, a fake kind of gold, metal covered with a thin layer of gold, rusted iron. C. Metal covered with a thin layer of gold. What does imperial authority refer to in the phrase, cranes appear in the design, symbolizing imperial authority? A. Military strength. B. Royal power or rule. C. An artist's signature. D. Magical protection. be royal power or rule.
A remarkable piece of Japanese Satsuma pottery. This beautiful item is a family heirloom that has been passed down through generations, and it has now ended up in our care. It is Japanese in origin and belongs to the style of pottery commonly known as Satsuma ware. This type of pottery is known for being high-fired stoneware with a distinctive crackled glaze. Interestingly, the fine network of cracks, called crazing, is not considered a flaw. On the contrary, it's an intentional and valued part of the design. Satsuma pottery rose to popularity after Japan opened up to the West in the 1850s, particularly around 1853 to 1854. One of the most notable potters of this style was Kinzo-zan Sobai, who came from a long line of skilled artisans. Kinzo-zan ran a large workshop that produced a variety of wares. However, the finest pieces were not sold in the usual way. If you simply visited his shop, you could buy a standard item. But if you asked to see something truly special, you would be taken to his personal residence where he had a private decorating studio. That's where the top-tier items were made by expert painters under his close supervision. The piece we are looking at today is one of those exceptional works. It appears to be shaped like a tea canister, but it was likely never meant for practical use. On the bottom, we find the mark Kinko-zan, along with the character Tsuruku, which means made by. Surrounding the base is what looks like a decorative border, but it's actually a styled inscription that reads Dai Nippon, Great Japan, and Kyoto, indicating the country and region of origin. The decoration is absolutely stunning. It's hard to believe someone could create such intricate scenes using only fine enamel paints and tiny brushes. One panel shows a mother and daughter, while another features a mountain landscape with a rooster perched on a blue rock. Elsewhere we see children playing and a house in the hills. There's even a curious animal that looks like a mix between a dog and a cat. A particularly breathtaking detail is a depiction of soft grey clouds. Each dot is made of real gold. This incredible level of detail continues across the entire piece. However, gold doesn't adhere well to this enamel, and as a result, wear is common. On this piece, the wear is minimal, and it remains in excellent condition. Another rare feature is that some of the painted panels are signed by the artists themselves. There are at least 2 painters who worked on this item, and one signature reads Oyan, a known artist from that period. It's a truly outstanding example of Satsuma pottery, one of the finest I have ever seen on the Antiques Roadshow. Its value is between £8,000 and £10,000. What does the word heirloom mean? A newly made object? A traditional recipe? A valuable object passed down in a family? A piece of land inherited? A valuable object passed down in a family? What does high-fired mean in pottery? Made with quick-drying clay? Heated at a high temperature in a kiln? Painted with bright colours? Glazed using steam? Answer: heated at a high temperature in a kiln. What does crazing refer to in pottery? Uneven colouring, a network of tiny cracks in the glaze, poorly shaped edges, a flaw in the clay's texture. Answer: a network of tiny cracks in the glaze. What does artisan mean? A person who sells antiques, a worker in a factory, a skilled craftsperson who makes things by hand, a dealer in rare art. A skilled craftsperson who makes things by hand. What does top tier mean in the phrase top tier items? Very affordable, outdated or worn, average in quality, of the highest quality. Answer: of the highest quality. What is a canister in shapes like a tea canister? A cooking tool, a storage container with a lid, a large serving tray, a type of spoon. Answer: a storage container with a lid.